love that button. Hello, my dear friends. I hope you're all doing well today, enjoying the nowness, and then whatever creation has to offer, or whatever you create, right? What's this? Cute little doggy. This card is for photo for you to see. This website. Oh, how cute is this? Yeah, this is attached to a YouTube question. Let me see here. To Dr. Morse's team and probably Patty for this one. Uh-oh. I have attached a YouTube question to the second page of this to make what I need to say condensed, so it's hopefully easier for you. Why did not give me the second page? Now, I could have that second page somewhere here, Kim. But unless I already responded, she didn't attach it. They didn't attach it. I would have loved to have saved tons on money on all the nutritional scams from the past. No kidding. I tell you, it's funny you bring that up, but I used to have people, of course, I don't see too many anymore, obviously, but I used to, and they would bring in bags of supplements. You know, bam. Now, remember, I'm 45 years in this, so I come through the supplement side. But I was first introduced to fruitarian and raw foods, and that, you know, let your food be your medicine and your medicine be your food. And so that doesn't, supplements is more like treating, and I just have never had that, I don't know, that just didn't seem to, you know, be the way. But I used to have vitamins and minerals. I used to have a brand name. My first health food store was called Country Life. And I had a brand name. And there's a brand out there now, Country Life. But I had it back in the early 70s. But bags full of supplements. The glucans, the MSMs, I mean just bags of this stuff. And wait a minute. All this is supposed to help you. See, I can see why medical doctors and the FDA on some levels would look at that and go, you know, because it's kind of like how much of a potency of something do you need to correct a symptom? Well, let's go back and take a look at the reality of life. Digestion, absorption, utilization, meaning adrenal steroids predominantly, and then a hormone from the parathyroid. What do we got going on? Good. Did you get that, the first one, that video?
It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, no, you're good. Because I want your question.
It's on there?
Yeah, you're good. Just like
okay, well, this is going to be on top of it.
Yeah, no, I separate them.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah, it's easy.
All right, good deal. And the supplements are just tons of them. Now, this one is, well, the beta-3, 6, and 9D glucans, you know, and then there was MSM or one of these. And they said you needed to take their supplements every 2 weeks. They're for cancer, for your immune system. And there supposedly doubles the NKs, the Ts and the Bs, and triples macrophages. Well, interesting, for a while I had clients that were, and I do order up NK cell tests occasionally. Very few do. NK is natural killer cells. Those are your Bs and your Ts. Your Ts are your thymus cells. These are your Navy SEALs and Marines of the human body, of the immune cells. And so I was pulling some of them and it didn't budge them at all. And it's just, when someone says you got to be on this supplement the rest of your life, nice to meet you. See ya. You know, that sort of thing. That's the idiocy of that out there. It sells product, but that doesn't build spirituality and love amongst us and beauty and honesty and integrity, does it? It sells product, but that's not what life's about, selling product and making money. Life is having fun and enjoying the ride, or the other side of it, you're not going to enjoy the ride, and you're not going to be happy, you're depressed and full of fear. So you've got to decide which journey you want to ride on, and then grab your strength and write it, knowing that you're the only one you have to answer to. You don't have to answer to anybody. You. And that deepest part of you is the ultimate, the divine. So, who do you really ultimately have to answer to? Yeah. Let me see here. In the past, I tell you, that was a good one though. You got me going on that one because that is so true. The amount of supplements is unreal. But I will say this true, even in herbology. If you use herbs to treat, you might as well blow them out the window too. You know, you really don't want to use herbs to treat diseases because then you miss the whole understanding of everything and you're locked away in this misconception of treating some phantom symptoms that allude you to the cause. You guys are not alluded to the cause because if you tear it down and keep it simple, how many sides of chemistry? 2. Polar opposite of each other? Right. One breaks down, one builds up. Easy to understand that. And then you got a body made of nothing but cells and 2 major fluids. Cells produce and burn a lot of chemistry. So in that, you always have side effects, and so therefore you have a kitchen in the body and a bathroom. How simple. How divine. Just because most of the practitioners on planet Earth doesn't understand the sewer system doesn't mean it's not there. You should see the business card attached. I do, and it's cute as all get out. I don't know if you can see that little doggy there. Looks like a French bulldog or something. Cute, cute. I love those with the big ears, you know, they're really cute. It is nearly being sent to show you a photo of my Boston Terrier, who is in the subject of the YouTube question. Kind of figured that. It is a card from a few years ago when I was representative for Life's Abundance Pet Food. Well, my baby is no longer eating that food since I have learned much more since that time. Whoa! You know, it's funny. The trickery. Remember I was talking about subliminal advertising the other day, how they were taking naked people and the way they were having them embrace each other. It looked like ice cubes. And that's our world. Hype it. Whether it's true or not, hype it. And it's like, what? Since adopting her at 8 weeks old, I have been in the school of hard knocks from a nutritional side with her and have hundreds of hours poured into the study of just about everything I could get my eyes on. Seen countless holistic veterinarians, I bet. How about the holistic dentist? Better bring your bank account with you. Ridiculous. Of hours poured into, veterinarians, all with different modalities, and tried multiple supplements and foods. I have kept a lot of notes, and my current holistic veterinarian has encouraged me to write a book. That's pretty cool. Well, you know, if you want to know a subject, you do just what Kim did here. Just tore it up, studied everything she could. Kim meaning female, right? I heard a video from Dr. Morse about creating some formula with rabbit feces. Well, it is pre-digested amino acids. And I have to tell you that dogs love it. And it is for an omnivore and a carnivore, those are the ultimate ways to take care of your cats and your dogs. Because giving it a protein, you know, we talked about this earlier, everybody's on this protein kick, right? But notice, if you have a little one like this and you give them too many protein treats, they'll get pancreatitis and hepatitis. Acid ash forming foods. These are still omnivores, which is what a lot of the scientific community, the pseudo-scientific community says that humans are a lot like as omnivores. Oh, I guess we're not like primates, which are not omnivores. Whoever calls a primate an omnivore, way off key. Not an omnivore. But I always thought that would be a good thing to do is, we used to raise rabbits, and I thought, the rabbit pellets, good nutrition, because it's just harvesting grass and breaking it down so that an omnivore, a lot easier for them to deal with. Because if you take a look at this, the length of the digestive tract of a carnivore's only about 3 times the length of its body. And it's smooth, very minimal digestion. Basically in, quick digestion, and out. But look at their main food source. It is proteins. Of course, there's a lot of thought about how they go to the gut and go for the intestines where the pre-digested vegetables are. Since most animals and humans that eat meat don't like to eat carnivores. Very few people like to eat carnivores. We like to eat the flesh of a herbivore. I don't know about a frugivore, but a herbivore. We don't like meat eaters. You know why? Because it taints the meat. It stinks. It's acidic. It's strong. Wait a minute. So, pre-digested to me is perfect. Remember, years ago they had pre-digested protein, although several people did die from that, but it's just the way they were handling all that. But pre-digested like that would be cool, super cool. My dogs love to go after that. And it's better than protein because it still probably has some enzymatic action in there. Who knows? I mean, it's just through a digestive tract. What people don't like is the not so much the fermentation. You would rather be, if you had to work in a zoo and you had to clean doo-doo, would you rather work in the ape cage or the cat cage? I can tell you which one I'm going to work in, and it ain't the cat cage. I'll work in the horse cage, the elephant cage, way before the cat cage. Woohoo! Yep. All right, so this leads me to my question. Are you guys going to form a pet division? Well, you know what? I could. We thought about doing the pet herbals in different labels, but to be honest with you, we just use our same herbs, and it would be the same herbs just with pet labels on them. So, I try to get people to go after your dogs the same way you go after humans. Every dog on the planet has urinary tract weakness. That is well established in canine lore, that canines are genetics in the urinary tract. Well, that's obvious. Sometimes you'll get little bumps because remember, they don't have sweat glands. When you graduate from a carnivore to an omnivore, your bowels are a little longer, a little more ringed. Everything's a little more digestive. Everything is a little better that way. A little more digestive energy, a little more digestive room. The GI tract is what? I forget now. 8 times the length of the spine. When you go into the human and the primate, ours is longer still. We have a longer GI tract than the herbivores and by far the carnivores. Ours is all ringed for maximum absorption. So we're really all set up for the fruit, berry, and vegetable kingdom. When you see meat eaters, their GI tract is much, much, much more, 3 times the length of their spine versus 12 of ours. And smooth and minimum absorption. Huge differences in the teeth, the claws, the way they're designed, everything obvious. How about a herbivore? To me, a herbivore is the furthest away from meat eating for one simple reason. Their GI tract is 30 times the length of their spine, and their spines are much longer than ours. And most of them have multiple stomachs. So you can see that when you start getting in the more refined species, you're away from meat eating, you're away from meat eating internal organs and glands, you're away from all of that, so to speak. So I do believe that would work, but we use the same formulas on all the dogs, and we go after the kidneys, maybe one drop of adrenals. Well, if you got an older dog, upper circuit brain and nerve baby, you want to get that baby up and awake again. I've started giving my little Shih Tzu, and he's 12. He's starting to perk up, starting to do all kinds of things. It's like, whoa, boy, do I love them herbs. Amazing. And it's funny. Remember years ago, Purina, dog food and stuff, grains are the way. Now suddenly, we're taking all the grains out of the dog food. Wait, I thought they were healthy. See, what was is not now. And that's what you have to remember. When you buy into something now, it might not be true in the future. So you don't want to buy into that. I like what Kim did here. A lot of research, a lot of looking, a lot of putting things together. This is what I did. And trying to put this together for the humans on the planet. You know, what's up here? Why are you suffering? Well, let's tear this apart. Let's start with chemistry. All right, let's start with the body. Let's start how the body works. Let's look at all this, tear it apart, see how it works. Forget what you've been taught sometimes, because remember, academics is other people's ideas and opinions. That's okay sometimes, but get your own. Now, since my dog drains me dry, I am trying to figure where my next funding will come from so I can take level 1 and 2 of your school. Maybe Doc or Patty can help me figure out a great way to detox her. Well, you know what, my friend? All right, Jen B. She submitted a separate question, but did you put it in my face? Did I answer this already? You think they'd get mad if we called them? You guys want to do anything like that? You think that's too much? Yeah, she submitted it. I don't have it. And if I do, it's very deep. Huh. Holy moly. So, I'm curious. Are you guys curious? I gotta see what this little, why she spent so much time on this animal. What's going on with the poor thing? Let's try it, all right? Okay. Something's not right. This could be out of country. Nobody home. Okay, so anyway, I'll have to get a hold of them and I'll let you know what we find out about the little doggy. But you just remember that all animals have basically the same situations going on, different amounts, different strengths of chemistry and things like this, but you know, everybody got hearts, everybody got kidneys, you know, some has a gizzard or two, but you know, everything basically has similar body parts. And so, especially the canines, they're fun and easy to go after, and animals respond really well with herbs. I remember I had a medical doctor call me one time, and he had llamas, and I had to go after his llamas. And we had to use teas. With the llamas, we could use some tinctures, but we also had another case of horses. You can't give, you know, tinctures like this and stuff to horses as well. You got a big animal. So it was, I can't remember all the things we did to take care of her horses, but it was interesting. All right. So sorry about that, but I'm going to give back to me. Let's call. All right. Cute little doggy. All right, this is Katie. Hello, Katie, honey. Let me start by thanking you for all that you do. Oh, you're welcome. I thank you guys for riding the ride with me. This is a tough ride. You know, we work with the insane, don't we? You guys, look at Jonathan. Jonathan from Canada. How many times you call me, bro? I don't know why it is, but you're like a magnet for the impossible. You're winning some of them though, so it's good. But you like get the impossibles. I tell you, there are some people out there that've just been chewed up so bad by the AMA and just at the death's door and chronic acidosis, and it's frustrating sometimes, you know, that you can't just go like that and someone's better, you know. But it takes a long time to create this and a little while to rebuild it. Thank God, as someone said, and I've always said, it's a lot quicker to rebuild than it was to create it. Thank you. You're very inspirational and have changed the way I think. Oh, good. Good, good, good. Not just diet-based, but my role here on Earth. Well, yeah, don't you think? I mean, really, you're either a follower in this scene or this movie that's going on, or you can get control of the movie and determine how it's going to run, because you're creating it anyway, only in a more unconscious manner. So it's better if you get a hold of that mind, get a hold of thoughts, or at least watch thoughts, because sometimes it's hard to control the mind. It's easy if you can get away from the mind and watch it, a lot easier to try to control it. Not just the way I teach my yoga classes, interact with people. Oh, thanks, honey. Good. I have an app with one of your assistants and very excited to hear what Marcy says while I'm still learning about detoxing the body and what that means. Yep. Well, you remember this is an all-natural process of the human body. It's just a natural process. All we're doing is hooking you up to the foods that your body is designed for in the first place, and showing you that, demonstrating that through chemistry, physics, pictures, limbs, everything you can. And then we're using herbs to go after specific tissues in the body. We're also using some herbs to clean a little more aggressively, like your lymphatic herbs. Sorry if that cures everything. My questions are more of the spiritual side. We need a little spiritual thing going here. Okay. And maybe a little heavy, too. Ooh. I like heavy. You're talking to a man who likes heavy, honey. I'm probably meant to work these out for myself, but let me ask anyway. Alrighty. You speak of God Creator a lot, and I'm not sure what this means. Are we talking about a religious God? Do you believe man was created in the Bible sense? So, as we respect each other, right? And we respect each other's awarenesses. Like I was raised Christian. But I knew, because I was Boy Scout, so I had to get my little religious badges, so my parents forced us, of course they didn't go, but forced us to go to church. And my inner self was looking and listening to that minister going, what? Everything is in its place. Religions were really there, established by man more than by God. Although man is God, so you can see. But for me, as more of a morality issue, to try to keep man in some sense from killing his friggin' self. I mean, but the problem is there's been holy wars after, we call them holy wars, there's been wars and wars after belief systems. So you hardly call these spiritual or divine teachings because they're all encased in war. Christianity did the ISIS thing. Christianity cut off heads, burnt libraries, destroyed a lot of the great writings of the world. Look at the Inquisitions and things. This is brutal. Christians put people on the rack and tore their limbs off. It was brutal. So every society goes through its growth things, and every religion does too. I mean, if you look at Catholicism, there's a lot of serious things there. And I love the new Pope. I think he's a pretty cool dude. When you live in poverty like that, and you carry your own suitcases, I respect that, buddy. I do. I don't have anybody do anything for me. Do it myself. And so I honor that guy. But there's a lot of pedophilia type stuff. There's a lot of stuff there that's not good, and it goes even back to some of the popes. So when you go back and look at these things, there's always been little problems to them. But most of them, in my opinion, control man instead of free man. If you have a preacher or minister that frees you, you've got a blessed one. But most of them talk about control and power and fear and all this sort of thing. Spirituality is more your perspective, your point of view, your awareness, opening and recognizing the oneness of life. That's more spirituality, where, hey, You're a Jew, or you're a Muslim, or you're whatever. Who cares? Hey, buddy, that's spirituality. Religions go, no, you got to think like me, you got to act like me, because our God is the number one God. No. Everybody on this planet uses a different word for God because they're in different tribes or different groups. And each group has different languages and have different names for God. But we have to come to the point in your spiritual awareness where you then begin to recognize that, oh, look, everything's coming from the same source. So when you talk about God, I only use that word because it's a comfortable word in some ways, and in other ways people retaliate against it. My original name for my formulas was God's Herbs. And I've had God's Herbs as my name for years and years and years because I give due respect to the Creator for creating those beauties. And I don't want people to forget that, because a lot of people don't understand the power that herbs have to love you. You have too much bull crap coming from the FDA and lies and the credible lies of the CDC centers, and then you've got the allopathy that has no clue about botanicals, but definitely willing to tell you their opinion. Excuse me? None of you have any experiences with these things, but you're ready to slam them and give people your opinion, and people trust you. Karma. Not so good. So when I talk about God, I'm talking about that which each and every one of us are a part of. And it's you that has to figure out. So sometimes it's better if you're an atheist. But you don't want to be an atheist where you lock yourself into either I'm this, I'm that, I'm this. That's limitation. Whenever you limit yourself to any concept or idea, you just limited your allness to something very small. Give yourselves due respect here of how gigantic of beings you are, coming out of consciousness, coming out of that which is the all. Because if you trace this back, looking for what God is, because when I was living in the woods as a fruitarian, I also read every religious book I could get a hold of, and every philosophy, from Alan Watts to Nietzsche to you name it. Alan Watts being a lively younger dude. Anybody ever heard of him? Of course, J. Krishnamurti, not really, really the mind opener. So, freedom is the greatest word I could give you in relationship to the Almighty of all things. It is when you find yourself totally free, not attached to people and things. You find yourself totally free, and you start looking around. Remember Moody Blues? You start looking around and seeing life for the first time, because you were lost and trapped in thought, trapped in your mind. And when you sit down and pull back from thought, you will now see the beauty of things, and you go, there's definitely the divine. Things are too perfect. Things work too good. There's no way you could look at creation, understand half of whatever, and deny the fact that there is a creator. It's just impossible to do. And it's okay if you do. Who cares? But it's you and that deep, deep inner you that you've got to get to. And when you do, that'll change you totally. Just like this person was saying. Change them. And understanding what we're talking about here can change you drastically from a follower and a person full of fear to a gigantic being who's using a physical body just to experience the world. Which would you rather be? And it's totally up to you, because that's the freedom you have. If you don't think you have freedom, you don't. Ethics is more, as opposed to morale or morals, ethics. From your own beingness, when you see that all things come out of the one, the omnipotent, the omniscient, the omnipresent. I can't even begin to tell you. That's when you break down all borders. That's when you realize all of us are just here having an experience together. And the beauty is the fact that each and every one of us is different. That's the grand illusion, is that how can there be so many differences? Well, there's never two things the same. I once thought of how many snowflakes do you think fall during a winter time in just Alaska? Couldn't count them, could you? Supposedly there's no two snowflakes designed the same. I can't even fathom that. Mentally, consciousness-wise, absolutely. Because that's the all of things. Very difficult. For those that want to understand what the divine is or who's the creator, you can't look at the finite worlds of creation. That's what's created. You have to look at something that could create something this massive and be bigger than that. And that would put it into the category of the infinite, with no beginning and no ending. No matter what religion, every religion has some great teachings in it. Great stories and great teachings. All religions do. Some have a little more violence, some don't, some of this, some that, eye for an eye. Some of the older teachings in Islam and also biblically are pretty raw. Let's face it, man has to be truthful with himself, with his God, with his teachings. Let's start accepting your divinity. Man just sees himself as this little nothingness, and it's like, nah, big mistake. You'll keep yourself trapped like that forever. You speak of karma. How do we work off our karma, and how will we know if ascension is possible? Ascension is always well, do you mean ascension over reincarnation and karma? There are so many false lights. I find this subject confusing. All right, you know what? It doesn't really matter, does it? See, that's the thing. A lot of times people experience things and know things that you don't, and sometimes it's frustrating because you want to experience those things too. And so I get all that. I really do. So it's enough to say is just relax. Get into yourself. Get away from thought. That's all conditioned thinking. You can't think a thought that's original. Thought is totally conditioned state. So there's nothing there that's infinite. It deals with the finite and the categorization of the finite. How about your emotions? Very limited. Nothing there in terms of the infinite. Part of the infinite. So sometimes it's better if you just relax, you live in the moment, and you start observing life. Not thinking, observing life. Just check it out. And in that checking it out, information will come to you like never before. Your eyes will open. You will begin to see the divine everywhere and in everything. It just changes you, and you start to see the difference between something that's more physically created and things that are more etheric created. For example, the mind is not physical. The mind is not chemical whatsoever. The physical brain is, but that's only the link to the mind, the physical link to the mind, as is the adrenals are the physical link to the emotional or the astral bodies, the chakra type things. I wouldn't get too upset because there's different teachings in different parts of the land. If you were an out-of-body traveler, you're going to find different teachings and languages spread throughout the worlds of God. I mean, and thank God in the higher ways you don't have so much of that as you have thought. So it is not about languages. It's interesting stuff. Karma is simply cause and effect. And we've talked about this a great deal. And that's physics. Simply for every cause, there's an effect. And for every effect, there is a cause. So when people say there's diseases and things like this, it doesn't fit into the cause and effect world because no one can explain them because they don't exist. Cause and effect, though, you look at the symptomology of a disease and you can tear that apart and point exactly what the cause of that is. And you will always come to the conclusion that it is acidosis in the lymphatic system in 99.99999% of the time. But spirituality is something that you are, not something you wear. A lot of people wear their religion like a coat. I'm a Christian. I'm a Jew. I'm a Hindu. No, you're God expressing itself as a Hindu, as a Christian, as a Jew, or whatever, as a Muslim, whatever. So, it all comes back to you, always. You strip everything from you. You strip your money, you strip your friends, you strip your parents. There's only one thing left, isn't it? You. Let's say you're on your deathbed. Who's going with you? Anybody coming with me? No takers? That's because you don't know what the other side's like. Only you. Birth. You might bring in a buddy there. Once in a while a twin comes along. But as a rule, only you. See, so it's only you always. And in the deepest and darkest despair of your light, it's only you. And it will be only you. You can go hide in a closet. It's only you. You could take a jet down to Costa Rica. It's only you. You're the only one experiencing your experiences. But that's how God experiences itself, is through its creation. How else would it? It cannot. It is pure awareness, consciousness. Very difficult to understand that. Interestingly enough, you know, the Buddhists and the Hindus and stuff understand it a little more than the Westerners. We're still thinking in terms of finiteness and old men with white beards. No. That's an extreme insult to the Creator, in my opinion. Something that's omnipresent, omnipotent, omniscient, and you reduce it to a little man in a white beard? I don't think so. But karma is just simply you're creating and reaping a benefit or a negative. Because whatever you create, you get the blowback from. You reap what you sow. Cause and effect rule everything. It's just the Hindus and the Buddhists, they call it karma. Jesus called it, remember, you reap what you sow. Cause and effect in chemistry and physics. So it's just saying that for every energy you put out, you get that energy back. It's well established in physics. And that's all it is. So you don't have to get freaked out about these things. Sometimes we're raised in Christianity and the preachers have scared us about Hindus or scared us about things we don't understand. Reincarnation, scary. No, none of that is scary. None of it is. It's simply God expressing itself in movies. Endless movies. Just like TV has movies. What you see going on is no different. And you're just seeing the reflection of God everywhere. You see a TV with directors and actors, that's just what's going on in life. Cool stuff.
Yeah, baby.
So it's nothing to get freaked out about. And if you're a Christian, don't get mad at me. If you're a Hindu, don't get mad at me. If you're a Muslim, don't get mad at me. I'm after you and the health and the happiness of you. And in that happiness and joy, you'll find your answers. You should never worry about ever ascension because you can't stop it. You cannot stop it. You lose your body. You don't take care of your body. You lose your body. You're going to move away from it. You lose your car in an accident, you're going to move away from it and get another one. What's strange about that? Nothing. And the same thing in the physical body. It's not strange. People are coming and going from this planet by the thousands every second almost. I mean, the comings and goings on this planet, soul-wise, is amazing. There's death everywhere. But there's also life everywhere. But you have to have death to get life here. That's how it works. You're only here a short time. This is birth, life, and death, or transition, or ascension, however you wish to look at it. False lights. False lights, honey, are like untruths. They're all over the friggin' place. And that's why I'm trying to get you guys away from the mind, which can be used by others to lie to you, to bring you down, to control you. But if I can get you to pull back from thought and get you strong in self, you don't have that problem. You see truth for what it is. You don't have to ask others about it because you see truth for what it is. You feel, you see. Fun stuff. But this world is full of lies. The world itself is a lie. You got to realize that. This isn't the Creator. This is what the Creator created. This is the illusion. But when your attention is fixed here, it's very real to you. But what happens? Remember what happens if I move my attention away from you? You don't exist anymore to me. They do. Oh, you're back. Oh, you're gone. Oop, no, you're back. It's all about attention. The thing is though, the more you can step back and become awake in awareness and not thinking, you have almost a 360-degree awareness. In regards to sex, is it a waste of energy, distraction? Is it perversion? You know what I think, Katie? I think that you need to come out of your shell. You know, because this world is for you to experience. The ups, the downs, the goods, the bads, everything. The rips, the rebuilds, everything. And you can ask God about it. This world is for you to experience. So some experiences are rough, some are not. But, you know, there's no question that the world of celibacy is a higher energetic world. And the thought of retaining the semen within the self is more nutritive in energy to the one. And remember the old story of was it Samson or something, where he was going to come save, and then the lady cut his hair and he's lost all his power or some kind of crap like that. Well, that story should have used the truth. He had sex with her. And of course, you know, when then kind of, all of that. But I find romance and lovemaking one of the fun times that this planet has to offer. I think it's cool to cozy up with the opposite sex and have romance, or the same sex if you're into that, who cares? But have some romance and some love between something here, and who cares? You know, you only let what bothers you or what can take your energy away, you let it happen. If you get in consciousness, it don't matter how you let your energy go. You have a constant, huge feed to that energy that won't give. You'll have constant energy. You can't get rid of it. You don't want to see me on my energetic day. It's like I have so much energy sometimes, it's like, whoa, sparking and a barking. But I say enjoy yourself a little bit here. We've got this whole thing, and of course a lot of yogas are celibate and stuff like that, but they masturbate, and it's like, come on, man. It's only you that allow the energy to do whatever. So be conscious, but enjoy the ride. You know, I go back to that movie, Michael. You know, it's a great example of a spiritual being that can come into this world, fight it, conquer it, make love to the women, and have a great attitude and leave as well and be as spiritual as you want. See, the big mistake that a lot of religions make, especially Christianity, in some circles, is to say sex is bad and damned and stuff. It's like, what? Fear. And I'll say this, don't ever let fear be your guide, or your experience isn't much fun here, and somebody's controlling you. You don't want a preacher, a priest, you don't want anybody to control you. You want to have a direct experience with what you might call God. How do you do that? Without going through a minister? He's or she, have they? Interesting. You might be startled to know that a lot of preachers and ministers and priests haven't had that much experience with the Almighty. You can tell by the way they talk. So, whatever sukkah you can get from a preacher, a priest, a master, a yoga, a Vaiguru, a nine silent one, a way shower, you grab it, you use it for yourself, you put it where you need it, for your growth, your needs, your expansion. This is your ride, your journey. I'm just putting my arm around you and say, I'll help you so you don't fall too low. And we'll walk down this road a little bit together till you get your feet wet and on and you can go. How does one go about astral travel? Move your attention away from the physical. Move your attention away from this physical world. But just get out of the body. So getting out of the human body, and I've given you some techniques, but you can make up your own. Basically, you want to get yourself in a totally relaxed manner. And I mean to where you're so relaxed. Laying down is better. You can get yoga style. But if you can just totally relax, and I mean you relax from the shoulders down to the little toes and back up again, and you just let yourself go. Now, while you're totally relaxing, picture yourself up at the ceiling looking down at your body on the bed relaxing. Picture yourself at the ceiling. Oh, look, we're at the ceiling looking down at the body. You do that enough, you will be able to pop out of the body. You have all freedom to move your attention where you want it. It's just the senses are so locking to your attention in this body. Pretty slick. Pretty slick. But that's your astral travel. Twitchell brought out soul travel, which is a higher level of traveling. Thank you so much, Dr. Morse. Let's do YouTube videos. Thank you very much, my dear one. Hope that helped you. Hope that didn't run too many of you off. Man has to get his sukkah. Each one of us are responsible for their own journeys. You might have buddies and friends, but we're each responsible for our own journey. And those of you that are working with us here and working around the world, you're the light bringers. You're the light bearers. You're bringing the light and a loving hand of hope to some struggling humans. Unbelievable how bad this world has got. And you're the light and the hope to this because your understanding is the highest yet. Hard to get much higher than these levels, to be honest with you. Health and in spirituality, because there's not much past consciousness, even if you could get there. All right, this is Cora Dora, or something like that. Karina. My name is Karina, and I'm from Romania. A lot of our Romanian friends. I've been watching your videos for a long time. You are so great, and you talk so beautiful. Oh, thanks, honey. Just a farm boy. That's it. So nice to look at. Oh, thanks, sweetheart. Love you. I do not know what you eat now, but you rejuvenate. Are they just fruits? I eat predominantly fruits. I can't deal with the vegetables too much. I do a lot of cucumbers, though. I do a lot of guacamole. I do salads about every other day. I do a big salad, I guess, for lunch if I can. Once in a while, I like my cooked veggies, too. Sometimes I'll go get a bunch of cooked veggies, like green beans and corn and carrots and stuff like that. I don't know. Breaks the monotony, but then I have a big salad with it. I like coleslaw, that sort of thing, but some of them have milk in it and stuff like that, so you got to squeeze all that out of there and get, clean all that out of there. So that kind of meal. I'm not a big eater. I do not eat a large. I only eat one meal a day, if you call it a meal, and that's at lunch. When I get up in the morning, it's fruit, baby. I hit fruit. Right now I'm into bananas and mangoes because the navel oranges, I can't get them anywhere. Watermelon is horrible in Florida. The growers ought to be spanked. There's a horrible watermelon in Florida now, so I can't even have watermelon hardly. So now the mangoes are incredible. So I've got mangoes and bananas. And I like a more watery fruit, though. I really do. Makes me feel better. Bananas make me feel more physical. I bought the book you wrote. It is translated in Romanian. I know. I've got that somewhere. I've got the copy in Romanian. I think our Romanian homeopath gave it to me. But it's hard enough for me to find recipes with the food combinations in your table. Well, you know what? My world is simplicity. I hate to tell you. I used to make salads coming up through this when I was a lot younger. I was all raw for many, many, many years, probably 15 years. But I would make salads, rainbow salads. I mean, my salads would kick butt. But then, you know, I'm coming away from the fruit. I'm not feeling as good. I'm feeling more physical. And so then I slowly go back. But I realize now I can't deal with the lettuces and things that are that you have to grind a little bit to break down. Of course, we as Homo sapiens don't have the grinders that the herbivores do. And I think if you keep your diet simplistic and you eat for health, not so much for, you can eat for joy and happiness. I do. I love the flavor. But you've got to get away from the perverted flavors of cooked. I do like my cooked, but I don't put that above anything raw. And when you look at the flavors of vegetables versus the flavors of fruit, you have night and day. The flavors of fruits and berries are the most attractive for the humans there are, and for almost every animal. Your omnivores are coming right after them as well. And I've never seen a herbivore turn down a fruit. We never had a horse that turned down an apple or a carrot. So I keep my meals simple. I try to. I don't want any complicated meals whatsoever. I think a complicated meal means a complicated mind and a complicated digestive system. And when you keep it simple, it's like it simplifies everything. You're more awake, less thoughts, less hyperactivity, all of this. Simplicity. But take a look at nature. You know, if you have to look anywhere, just look at nature, unperverted, just wild as it is. Most animals are mono-eaters. Most animals eat only one type of food at a meal. But doesn't it make sense for better digestion, better absorption, for everything? Simplicity. Yeah. I was at the gynecologist and I have a polyp that he cut off of what? And I still have a 9.5 centimeter ureter fibroid. That's a pretty good size one. The doctor instructed me to go to the hospital and perform laparoscopic surgery to remove it and part of the uterus. Well, at least he only recommended a partial uterine dissection. But don't you want to fix why you're getting so much acidosis in the uterus like that and creating fibroids like that? That's going to be what system? Oh, I hate to sound like a broken record, but it's going to be your lymphatic system. Again, it's going to come back to your kidneys and adrenals. And once you get your lymphatic system filtering, that fibroid will loosen up and all that density will come out of there. The fibroid is located behind the back of the uterus. The doctor said that if I wait much longer, I can get directly on dialysis if she grows bigger. Ooh. And he even gave it a she name, huh? Woo-hoo. Well, why not get rid of it altogether the right way and keep the uterus as well, my dear? And that is, you got to get your kidneys filtering, and you definitely don't want it to encroach on the kidneys. So I'm kind of with him a little bit on that. If that's what's going on, you never want to break down and disturb your kidneys. But 10, 20-day grape diet, how about it? Can you do it? If you can do it, I can do it. 20-day grape diet ought to get that thing starting to shrink down quite a bit. Make sure your kidneys are filtering. Get on 2 kidney formulas, 1 lymphatic formula. I'd go after the endocrine glands, particularly going after this. Because what this is telling you is what causes fibroids, what causes dense tissue, hardened tissue. What side of chemistry? Not base, acid side of chemistry. Well, wait a minute. There's only 2 sides of chemistry. That's easy. All right, so the acid side of chemistry, right? So acid side causes agglomerate, everything to stick, agglomerate, come together, harden, cationic. Which system deals with the acids? That's the logical question. The blood. Rethink that one. And I would advise all medical doctors to rethink that stupidity, and massage therapists as well. Quit giving lymph drainage to the heart or the inferior vena cava, lymph drainage to the kidneys, guys and gals. I forgot to mention that I am 47 years old. 7 points. You have to talk more inches and pounds and stuff like that instead of metric. And I really like sweets, unfortunately. Well, that's fungus. One more thing. For 1.5 years, I cannot turn my left head to close my... For 1.5 years, I cannot turn my left hand to close my bra because my shoulder hurts. Unless I suck it back or suddenly move a hand, it hurts. Otherwise, I can do anything with it. I would be very grateful if you would advise me to do the surgery. Advise me to do the surgery and what to look for. I'm attaching some pictures from the ultrasound from... Thank you, and I wish you a lot... Oh, thanks so much, my dear one. All right. I'm always surgery the last thing. I'm always going to try to get the kidneys filtering fast enough to get this down. You should be able to do that, I would think. I would be more in favor of that so you don't have to lose any tissue, because once you go in, and because it's fibroids and everything, it's extremely acidic. What risk do you run now? Adhesions, scar tissue. And that's not good, because these kind of adhesions can latch themselves to your bowel walls and things. And the uterus can attach itself to the colon. Not worth it. I mean, if you have to, you have to. But I would definitely honk on and detox myself, get my lymphatic system. Again, that's the system that you're having the problem with, and I would honk on. By the way, I would douche with a Heal All Tea is what I made it for women, atypical cells. You have that kind of problem. I would douche 1 time a night for 2 weeks. Some of the young girls that are doing that are getting things out you shouldn't at their ages. So, ladies, there is some retention of stuff in there, and by douching, I'm very afraid to douche with that tea, because it'll turn. I've had women come in with atypical cells from pap smears, 1 week, turn them right around. That's incredible stuff. So it's a cleaning, strengthening tea that might help you a little bit there. If you raise your hips and try to get it up as far as you can, that'd be good. But this has to be dealt with systemically, internally. Now, ow, what system is that? Remember, we've been talking about this for a long time. What system makes you stiff, sore, and tight? The blood. See, it can't be the blood, because the blood is alkaline, and that is not an alkaline experience. This is an acid agglomerated experience. This is a lymphatic stagnation experience. Acid causes pain, swelling, stiffness, tightness, and mutation. And I can take someone like this and get them like this again. Done hundreds, if not thousands like that. Wheelchair bound, up and out and straight again. Feet straight again. The body loves to regenerate. But you can't regenerate when you're giving them toxic pharmaceuticals. You think it's some kind of disease and you're trying to treat it with antibiotics and killing the bacteria and doing all this stuff. That's insanity. You don't want to live in the world of insanity. You want to live in the world of proper science, proper understanding of how the body works, proper understanding how the body burns chemistry. The food processor. And just because A and P haven't caught up with the total lymph system yet doesn't mean it's not there. You know it's there. We know it's there. A lot of the scientists know it's there, and they're now finding parts of it. Thank you. So you have to take that in consideration. All right. But I'm going lickety-split. I'm going on an extended grape fast or a fruit fast. I'm going after I'm going to use the herbs to detox my body, kill the worms, things like that. Remember, go on the first kit. Get you used to what that's like. If you've never used herbs before, use the first kit. Worm killings, liver, lymph, kidneys, bowels, endocrine glands. If you know the body, you know those are the areas you've got to go after if you want to be successful in regenerating the human form. Excuse me. Mm-hmm. All right. Hello, Dr. Morse. I am thankful for your activity. I like how some of you guys put these things. Pretty cool. Yeah, you're welcome, my man. I have an eye. Diocesian. My eye's called keratoconus, which, whatever they call that, which damaging the cornea and cause it to become thinner and weaker, which causing deformation. All right. Let's stop right here while we just was talking about it. Now, what is your eye tissue made of? Particularly the cornea. Cells, right? Everything is cells and fluids, correct? All right. So now, you've got the cells and the fluids, the two fluids, blood and lymph, 20% blood, 80% lymph, flow around all the cells, even in the eye tissue. Right? Now, the blood, that's all base chemistry. It cannot become obstructive, or there's death on the other side of that. Ischemic changes is when you see, ischemia is when you see blood being withheld to tissue. Pain comes in and then death comes in. It's like a heart attack or a stroke. Same thing. You don't get oxygenated blood to tissue, the tissue will die, right? Well, there's another component here. The blood is base chemistry. However, the wastes and byproducts that are created by the burning of this chemistry and the activity of the body are acids. So, does it make just common sense at all? If you're just knowing that, does it make sense if the blood has to be alkaline and the wastes and byproducts of life are acidic, that the blood be responsible? You throw these acids back in the blood and the blood that... No! There's no difference in that thinking as it is in pooping in your kitchen. I'm just going to go to the kitchen and use the bathroom. What's the difference? That's how stupid that is. You have a huge 80% interstitial fluid, huge sewer system in the human body. That is the lymphatic system. Just because one modality or two or three don't understand doesn't mean we don't. That's the due respect we have to give each other. If there's a physician or a scientist that discovered something, I'm the first one saying you need a Nobel Peace Prize. University in Canada, I've said you needed a Nobel Peace Prize. There's several people I would love to see get that for their discovery and what it means to our world of health and healing, like the neurological weakness that causes type 1. Not the beta cell weakness, a neurological weakness, which would be the autonomic to the beta cells. If that's down, you can be type 1 and nothing wrong with the beta cells at all. See, so that university needed a Nobel Peace Prize. That's an incredible find. But, so, in the eyes is no different, in the brain, in the heart, the liver, and anywhere else. You got a bunch of cells with two fluids flowing interstitially or around it. In other words, every cell in your body is bathed in 20% blood and 80% lymph, basically. Okay? Now, the blood and lymph are two separate systems. The blood cleans itself into the lymph system where? Spleen. ugh, get this nasty stuff out of me. So the blood likes to keep itself clean, knowing that, and keep its pH balanced. That's why we introduced to you, Pat and I, the calcium buffering system, and went after that medical doctor who thought bicarbonate is the way, and you could eat it. Oh. So, learning that. So what makes things break down? What makes things thinner? What makes things tear apart? Acids. Not your bloodstream. Acids. You can't blame anything on this situation you have but your lymphatic system. There's no other system to blame. You could say that the cells in these tissues are genetically weakened. Absolutely could. That'd be fine. But what makes them weak in the first place and what tears them down? Acids. Acid, their own metabolitic waste. It'll do it to you too. And it is. The joke is, we're all dying on our own metabolitic waste. Remember the baby in the diaper example? The burn? Mm-hmm. Some of you are burning inside and cold at the same time. Meaning your thyroid is way down and you're acidic as all get out. You're burning from acidosis, but you're cold. Anytime you see malformation of limbs, tissue of any sort, gross, lipid gross, that's all a sign of too much acidosis. And there's only, in my opinion, there's only one way to correct that. And that is simply to remove the acidosis. Well, you have to identify the system it's in. You have to understand that system. Well, man doesn't understand that system. We're introducing it to this planet. Man is finally getting it. You guys get it. I just talked to a great man this morning with Marcy. He gets it perfectly from London. You get it. It's easy to get. That's why it's got to be a real tear for the intellectual mind. Said that for years. So you're looking at, let's see what else, with deformation and can't get good vision with glasses or contact lenses and waiting for corneal transplant. In my left eye, well, you want to start rebuilding. I would do the eye wash internally. You might get away with about 3 or 4 drops topically. That'll start inspiring. And if you can, move up a little more to 6 to 12 drops. But that'll inspire blood and lymph flow. You want to start inspiring blood flow through tissues here. The other thing, though, is you got to get on a raw diet. Because when you inspire blood flow, you want the blood to bring the right chemistry to that area. With that said, there's a formula in here called Visioplex. It's got some things I don't like in it, and vitamins and minerals. But it's got raw eye tissue, bilberry. It's got other great things in it that I do like. And you might want to get yourself some raw eye tissue as well to start inspiring new tissue growth and repair. At the same time, I'm going to inspire new blood and lymph flow through the eye tissues. And that's topically. And internally the same way with also upper circuit brain and nerve. Brain and nerve for that, right? Upper circuit brain. I'm going aggressively after this, right? But I'm going to go after that system. I got to get the sinuses drained out of here because they're coming down on you. I've got to get the ears pulled clean. I've got to get these bowels clean so everything can drain. To do that, I got to get the kidneys filtering. See the steps we have to do to get up here. But you got to do it because there's no magic. You just wave a wand and suddenly all that acid is gone out of tissue. I wish.
No!
Not going to happen. But can you repair and fix this?
Well, yes.
And having a cornea transplant does not fix this problem. And you're at odds at setting up for losing the new one. With glasses, but I can't drive. And do you have any cerebellum involvement? I'm curious about this. Dizziness, equilibrium, vertigo. See, my question is it possible to heal and reverse the cornea shape back to normal? Yes, absolutely it is. Now, that brings us to another thought here. What thought did you guys, can you read my mind? I know some of you can. You're right. Parathyroid. You're good. Parathyroid. We want to strengthen connective tissue, right? So we want to strengthen structure as well. So I would be thinking about, since this is all up here, I'm going to conjecture that you probably have a pituitary issue and a parathyroid issue going with all this. So I would do a pituitary herbal and a parathyroid glandular and start bringing strength to the connective tissue to pull form back in. At the same time, I'm moving the acids out that's stripping that and breaking down the connective tissue and forming lipid, whatever type of growth you're forming there. And all the mucus and all that. Blurriness, absolutely. So by using these formulas and going in that way, fixing your body, you should be able to grow it and have a great eye. Both eyes. I can't describe the effect of vision. Oh no, I get that. I've thought of that many times. We've had that many conversations. If you had to pick one sensory organ that you had to leave, your body, which would it be? Your sight, your smell, your taste. You know, it's funny how each one of these senses brings great joy and pleasure to you on this planet. The missing of these senses. How many of you can smell that you think you can smell properly? Did you know most of you probably don't smell but by memory? I mean, the strong odors probably. But ears, nose, and throat docs have talked about it for years, that women have lost their sense of smell. Well, so have men. And through all the congestion and all that, but you can get all that back. All right. This is Ryan. Hey, Ryan. Oh, Dr. Morse, thank you for all the amazing... Oh, thanks, man. What? Diagnosed with cancer 5 years ago, man? Not good, I say. Wow. They took 5 lymph nodes out under the right armpit. Now the cancer has exploded in the arm, of course. I mean, the dumbasses, I mean, God, leave the lymph nodes alone. Now the cancer has exploded in the arm. They put her on the strongest chemo. Oh, who are you talking about here? Oh, this is Ryan's mom. Sorry, I missed that. Sorry about that. This is Ryan's mother. Damn. They put her on the strongest course. Of course, we had a 29-year-old here, or 26-year-old. They gave her the strongest chemo and the strongest level of radiation that you can give anyone. They know it's not going to help her. And this is the brain. Oh my God, it's sick out there. We need you guys so bad. This world has no idea how bad it needs you guys. And while arm has come down, well, you know why though. Chemo originally, and so does radiation, shrinks things. Burn a piece of paper and see if it shrinks. Yeah. But in that burning, the destruction of thousands and thousands and thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, of other cells are assured. They just don't get that.
No.
I got her on Heal All Tea and fruits and veggies as best I can. I also keep telling her she need to get her to filter her kidneys. Yeah, if you can get your mom to understand that, that'd be great. Get her to participate in her own healing. Let her watch these videos and get her to participate in her own healing. You know, when you're trying to get a parent or you as a parent trying to get a child, it's difficult, isn't it? Trying to get another person to listen to you is difficult. So you've got to engage them and engage them in their own wellness. Remember, I had a guy here one time full of cancer, or what he was told was cancer. And he came in with his wife, an older guy. He said, well, Doc, he said, I'm going to put my life in your hands. I trust you. The first thing I go, oh, no, you're not. You're not going to don't lay that on me. You're not going to put your life in my hands. There's no way. I didn't walk your walk. You walked your walk. I will help you unwalk your walk. But I ain't going to walk it for you. You got to participate in your own wellness journey or you're not going to get well appropriately. Notice that? Notice people that half-ass it, that's just what they get. You know, you want to participate, understand what's being said, understand it, and if it rings true to you, go after it. Tear it up. Like you're going to go buy a new car. Oh, yeah. You know? Don't sit there and go, oh, do I have to? Do I have to have one more fruit? Do I have to? Well, that's not going to work. You're pulling yourself down the road, and you're getting heavier each day. No, you want to turn your attitude around, your vision around, your point of view, your perspective around. Go, you know what? This could be fun. I'm going to get lighter, leaner, meaner, stronger, more awake. This could be really good. I'm going to have energy beyond belief. I'm going to be strong. I'm never going to have pain in my body. I'm not going to be sick. I'm going to be so flexible I can move all over the place. Look at the positive side of these things. Some people come in here and, oh my God, they're like carrying a ball and chain. I said, well, have fun. You're going to be carrying that ball and chain the rest of your life. Let it go. Cut it off. Only you have the key to your own ball and chains, guys. Only you, yourself. Start unlocking these balls and chains. If your religion is a ball and chain, unlock it. If your education has been a ball and chain, unlock it. If your mate or family's been a ball and chain, unlock it. The experience is yours. And never let anybody dig into you emotionally about any of that. You were brought here by yourself on your own mission and your own journey. You might have picked up a few friends along the way, but we're all coming from the same source, so we're all buddies. All right, I also keep telling, all right, she insists they are. Any advice would be appreciated, thank you. Well, 5 years ago, she's diagnosed 5 years ago, so she's about at the end of her time. If she's done chemo and radiation, I don't know what type of cancer this is. Depending on the type of cancer, most people, only about 6% of the people live up to 5 years with most of the cancers. I think now breast cancer is a little better, if this is breast cancer. Most, that you're getting the percentage of people living 5 years or longer are up to almost 20 now. I think with Berinsky in Texas, it's up to 25%. That's still, you're gambling on your life for 25%. But most people are so scared because everybody dies that they see that have cancer, they're scared of that. But what they don't realize is most people die that have cancer from the treatment of cancer, not from what medical doctors call cancer, not from the degenerative state. That's just going to chew the local tissue up. And once you get your lymph moving, yeah, you might get chewed on, but when you do chemo and radiation, you're being massively destroyed. But it's all in the name of science. Right. So if I was her, I would, depending on what, it doesn't matter what type of cancer, what they're calling it, I don't really care. If she has degeneration in her body where her cells are being broken down, then she has degenerative area of lymph stagnation in that area. So, excuse me, you really want to go after the kidneys and adrenal glands with her. You want to go after the lymphatic system very aggressively, but not too aggressively at first. You want to get the bowels opened up, everything opened up in her. Get her on these kits or get someone to write a protocol for her and get her on the road to Wellville. And if she has the tenacity, the strength, and she's halfway opened up spiritually, she'll go for it and save herself. If not, she'll end up like every other human that is not very evolved. She'll end up killing herself. And that's just that you have to be straight and direct with that. No offense, Ryan, but I have to live through so many deaths. But so many people say, they don't want to live anymore, or this or that, and it's like, well, whatever. But if you want to live, you want to take care of the body, it's to your advantage, both in the now, in this lifetime, and in your future. As the one lady said, in your ascension is vital, what you do now. So what you do right now, and in how you make yourself awake and healthier, plays a major role in your future, in every way, shape, or form. And that includes your mother. Even though some of these people get older and they don't realize that, They need to. A lot of these old people just go along and die watching TV down here, and it's like, right, you'll be right back. But I would go aggressively, all fruit for 5 years. I'd be very aggressive. And if she already has had this aggressive chemo and radiation, then she wants to live on grapes. I'd recommend her to do a 20-day grape diet. She wants to add something now and then just for her sanity, okay. But get her there. At the same time, I'm going after those kidneys, adrenals, the lymphatic system, aggressive. I'm going after that GI tract. I'm going after the endocrine glands. A little upper circuit brain and nerve always helps. All right, let's see here. This is a new one, I think. Hello, I'm writing this email because my gynecologist said that my uterus is bicornus, but nevertheless it was normal. What would think about this? I sleep every day and my lower abdomen makes me sick to then my back's giving me hell. But gynecologist said to me it's normal. Normal. It's normal to live in hell. It's normal to have that lower back pain, especially when you have kidneys that are breaking down, that causing it. Oh, they didn't tell you that. As I'm pregnant, 5 months. Oh. 5 months pregnant, huh? Now when I go to Google for watching information about this, all stresses me. They said every wrong thing about this. I'm afraid about cesarean because my 3 childs was born through vaginal birth. It's new for me because I had 3 pregnancies, but they aren't the same. Give me some advice, please. Well, what do you guys think? What is a bicorneous uterus? I never heard of that. Never heard of that in my 45 years. It's nothing though. Can't hear about everything. After all, we're only lowly naturopaths here. I sleep every day and my lower abdomen make me sick. Well, you know what? You might want to send me a picture of your eyes and ask me the same questions, but if your abdominal area is housing the stomach, the GI tract, on one side basically the spleen and pancreas, on the other side liver gallbladder basically. So somewhere in there you're having problems with one of either the GI tract or the liver gallbladder. All I can say, you're 5 months pregnant. That's where the problem comes in. Because I would want to go after that uterus lymphatically. Because I take it that means it's augmented, mutated in some way, tipped in some way. So I would be going to strengthen. But at the same time, I'd be wanting to move lymph, and you're pregnant. So I would say this. I would go on the kidney formulas, the endocrine gland formulas, the upper circuit brain and nerve formulas, just to give power to the child. I believe you could safely do the female reproductive formula because that formula is not an estrogenic formula. Black cohosh, on the other hand, and those would be estrogenic. That could abort you. But the female reproductive is more of a progesterone formula. That would be more like strengthening the fetus. So you could do that. But I could have used a little more information here, my dear one, and maybe some eye pics or something, but a little more information would be helpful. Any way you turn this, I would be total raw because I've got a baby here, and I want my baby to be healthy and strong and smart. So I'm going to take a few herbs that will not hurt the baby, that'll make me strong and smart, and it'll make my baby that way. It'll also help my baby if she has any genetic weaknesses in the endocrine glands, in the kidneys. You're going to be fixing yours, but you can fix the baby's. Babies are going to get your lymph system, oh yeah. But if you can fix the kidneys and the baby comes out and halfway filtering, that'll be a good day. That'll be a good day. So give me more information. Sorry about that. Jessica Johnson. Wow. Infant umbilical hernia. Wow. My name is Jessica. I have been following your work for a while now and used quite a few of your products prior to conceiving my second daughter. Oh, cute. Oh, cool. How'd she turn out? That'd be cool. I love to see these children come out from you guys that are doing raw and stuff. These babies are killers. I love it. Such a different race you guys are creating. It's amazing. It's just so good to see healthy children coming about. We have all the kids around here. We do, parents that work here all bring their children here. School's about to start anyway, but so we have them doing all kinds of things around here. We have a little pool set up back here and all kinds of things. Oh yeah, we're one of those companies that care. I had my second daughter on April 24th. Oh, that was close to my birthday. When she was 37 weeks, since I ended up having cholecystitis, stasis of pregnancy, she is doing fantastic good. Vaccine free. Oh, good mother. And healthy. She has an umbilical hernia, and I was wondering what, if anything, you know. You know what? How old is she, Neil? I'd definitely be thinking endocrine glands, because I would be wanting to go after that parathyroid and maybe a little pituitary. You want to watch her growth, her height and all that, to make sure she's growing appropriately. Because I would be thinking that is either a local weakness or a connective tissue weakness that represents a parathyroid weakness. I don't know how much parathyroid we can give a small child, but it surely would be just a tad bit, just a little bit. But certainly the endocrine gland formula would be usable. The kidney formulas would be usable. You could actually use just a tad bit of the bones and connective tissue. I'd be wanting something like that to strengthen. However, you could strengthen through I have a toddler superfood formula. That would be Superfood 3. And it's a toddler's, and for seniors. It's just got a little more lipid in there, a little more coconut and stuff like that. And so it's a little more designed for the toddler up and the seniors. Although, good stuff. So I would be maybe something like that, extremely high in calcium and all the other good stuff. The concern would be the usability by that. Remember, the third phase, we have digestion, absorption, utilization. Utilization, how do you utilize zinc, selenium, iron, adrenal steroids, mineral corticosteroids? No one talks about utilization, talk about deficiency. But until you can say deficiency, you have to fix digestion, absorption, utilization, and elimination. Then and only then, and you're on a raw food diet, and you think someone might have a deficiency, okay. But that's kind of my thinking. Strengthening. And of course, you want your babies on, and I'm sure you do, on a lot of fruits and berries and melons and stuff like that. That very nature of raw will strengthen the body as well. In time, this baby will grow. Eating raw will strengthen everything and clean everything out. But you can help it a little by using some of those formulas like that. Strengthening and stuff like that. But I would also move to the kidneys and the endocrine glands and start getting all of that up, so filtration could be right after birth and stuff. Who knows? That'd be cool stuff. This is a good mother, Jessica. You sound like a good mummy. This is Rosemary. That's an old-fashioned good name. You know that? Rosemary. I think. Hi, Doc Morse. Hi, Rosemary. Thank you so much for existing. Oh, thanks. I don't want to be here, but I'm here. I mean, there's a bit of a hellhole compared to where you guys are from. You're such an inspiration for me on so many levels. Oh, thanks, honey. Then love to you back. I just finished your cleansing kit 1 and 2. After that, I've been doing a few 16-hour dry fasts as my kidneys don't seem to be filtering much. Ow! Keep working though. You really don't want to stop working. You really want kidney filtration because everybody that's got it can tell you the difference. It's amazing. I have been eating a plant-based diet since 2011. Oh, fantastic. 1.5 years of being completely raw. Love it. But I started incorporating cooked meals again for dinner, still always keeping my fruits for the day. You know what? A lot of people said that recently. And I think we're in one of those negative cycles where we're like catching our breath and people are going through that. So I'm going to have to rock with that. Because I have to rock with the energies of the universe as well. And sometimes they dictate, sometimes stepping back, not always going forward. So we have to be intuitive about that. So, but at the same time, don't get too caught in it because, again, cooked foods is addicting. I'm struggling with painful acne since quitting the birth control pill and going vegan in 2011. So let's stop right there. That's lymphatic. I wouldn't probably do the cooked foods for a while. I'd actually do the opposite. I'd actually get better, not worse. Or you're going to hold on to that acne for a while. You want to check your underarm basal temperatures. Make sure your basal temperatures are up there around 98. If not, go after the thyroid either with herbs or with a glandular. But you want to get what? Sweating. Now, that's not going to make your skin feel too good, and you could get into some fungal itching and stuff like that. And none of that's fun, but you got to get these acids out. Plain and simple, or the scene won't change. You can try to treat it, but I think most of you guys and gals that have had acne, which is thousands of you on our site, know that. You've been treating that for years and years with steroids and everything else with nothing but worse and worse effects. So I think we all know now that it's an internal and you've got to go inside of your body and deal with the lymphatic, see, I'm losing my voice, lymphatic system. I've been talking a lot. I've been trying to do these videos every day. I want to do 2 tomorrow, which is Thursday, and maybe 2 Friday. I'll see what I can get done because Jin B's off all next week, so I won't do a video next week. I might do a video, but it won't go up for another week after that. So I'm going to try to get as much of these videos as I can done for you. I've got the eyes done from school, and I just talked myself to death. I'd rather be under an orange tree contemplating my navel. Moody Blues. I never had any sorts of teens acne at all. Always got complimented and had a very good clean skin. Had been on and off the birth control pill for 8 to 9 years. Only started breaking out for the very first time in my life after I permanently quit. Well, that's good though. You know, you might not be that involved. See how much of a skin ring you have around the eye. That's tissue weakness though. And you can look to see how much puffiness or lymph stagnation you've got around that ring to see how much interstitial, but make sure your basal temperatures are up there or you're not going to be able to sweat well. And you've got to go after your main 2 kidneys to start filtering or the skin's going to wear the burden. And that's the problem. I have had a few blood tests showing that my androgen levels are excessively high. I have no excessive hair growth and my periods are very regular and light, just acne. Well, I said this before, and I don't know. I've done and followed blood work all my life. And the most inaccurate tests that blood is inaccurate at is steroids and hormones. To me, blood is very inaccurate. And remember, a lot of these are introduced interstitially, not even directly into the blood. So you have some lymph issues to deal with since it's interstitially injected or released by the gland itself. So you've got to consider that interstitial health when you're also thinking about hormones and steroids as well. There's a lot to think about sometimes, that you wouldn't think about. There's a lot to think about. Whatever that was. I read that androgens are produced by the adrenals. Yep, but that's more your gonadals. So I'm wondering what's exactly going on with my body. I also watched one of your videos about miscarriage, as I just had one in April. Oh wow! Then you got a pituitary going on here, which could make the adrenals hyperactive in that level. Absolutely, hyperproducing. Yeah, that's definitely pituitary. If you got ovaries or pituitary, and I'm telling you, ladies, 99.99% of those of you that can't conceive, it's pituitary. Fix the pituitary, and conception will be assured. But you want to hold, so you just don't want to get yourself halfway healthy to conceive. You want to get yourself very healthy to hold and have a healthy infant. It's not fun or happy times giving forth some sick children, because remember, this country loves jurisdiction over your children, and so they kill a lot of children because of that. And there you talked about the pituitary gland. Oh yes, I got pregnant immediately, but it stopped developing around 4 to 5 weeks according to the doctor. You see what I'm saying? See, you probably even had a pituitary weakness in the infant. So you got to just, I know you ladies want to conceive, some of you, and it's happy days when you do, but fix things a little while. Go after it, and after you fix it, go even more. Go so long that you can't stand yourself anymore, and then you're there. You know, sometimes you stop a little too soon. So make these things healthy. Get the sinuses cleaned out, you know, get the bowels cleaned up, upper circuit, brain and nerve, get everybody cleaned up and turned on again. And you'll hold and give great children. Yep. I got, but I didn't experience the miscarriage symptoms until I was 8 weeks. Yep. And that's a problem when you're just temporarily fixing something and conceiving. You want to really fix everything nicely. And that way you're going to have an easy carrying, easy birth. The child is going to come out not red and full of mucus. Everything's pretty, and a head of hair instead of balding. Pretty bad when a baby's born balding. Think about it. It's a very acidic little baby. You know, this is, you know, we've got some serious trouble, planet Earth. At least this field of action. I've had a few, okay. What should I focus on, the pituitary, adrenals, or both? Both. Sorry for the long message. Hope you guide me on this one. Oh, I'm happy to, Rosie. Rosie from Iceland. I know Rosie from Iceland. You know, there was one person at the class from Iceland, Rosie. Yeah, cold country for sure. That wouldn't be my neck of the woods. Holy moly, I can't stand cold at all.
N-O.
Yeah, let's do a couple more. I didn't get a lot of them answered, really, like I'd like to, but some of the answers are kind of long, though, and I do rattle on a lot. And one thing makes me remember something else that I want to bring out, and so I try to come back and put it all together for you, but sometimes I'm bad that way. All right, this is Alex. First off, let me thank you for the videos you provide. Oh, thanks, Alex. I appreciate it. I want to thank you for watching them. This is Alex. He's talking about a lazy eye. All right. I was curious if strabismus could be corrected, since it's a problem caused by improper muscle movement. Who controls muscles? The nervous system. Okay. All right. Also, part of the intermittent, I'll call it lazy eye, stems simply from daydreaming. I don't think so. I'm a good daydreamer. I like to create. So I was curious if this issue could be solved from a mindfulness approach. Absolutely. Upper circuit, brain, and nerve. Let me repeat that. Upper circuit, brain, and nerve. At the same time, get your sinus. I'm going to tell you the same thing I told that one lady, because you want to strengthen the nervous system upstairs. And it wouldn't hurt to strengthen connective tissue just for the fun of it, although I don't think that has a role in it, but just in case, you want to go after your pituitary with an herbal and go after parathyroid. I'd use a glandular 2-3 times a day for about a month, but I also would do upper circuit, brain, and nerve, and I'm real serious about that. On the other side, I'd go after those adrenal glands for up in neurotransmitters for the autonomic, and I would get those kidneys filtering to start moving the lymph. I'd go after the GI tract with GI broom, stomach and bowels. See where I'm going with all this? Absolutely would. I don't, what's beautiful, I wish I could have the eye picks and everything here together for you so I could just look and see, but that would take us a very long time. I wouldn't be able to go over them. Now maybe we ought to do that. You guys send them in. I wouldn't be able to go over them quite yet. But I've had, Godspeed to you, Alex, I've had several of these cases of lazy eyes. It'll pull them right straight. Oh, God, I had a poor little, she was 4 months old, a Texas baby. Mother called me up, and she was given a loaded Hep B back at 4 months old. She went into liver failure. Her left eye took a hike east. She went into constant convulsions, and I forget what else. Well, her mother called me at 14 months old. She was still having convulsions. Now, this is from the vaccine. And you know it's thimerosal. Oh, but we don't have any proof. Oh. So, I got her out of convulsions. She'd already come out of liver failure a little bit. And I did get this eye to straighten. But that was a neurotoxic event. And that was a neurotoxic event. So understand, muscles are controlled by the nervous system, and you want to go after the nervous system. But by cleaning the lymph system, you're also going to clean up the muscles and strengthen the muscles as well. But you want to also think tendons and nerves, but particularly the nervous system. I'd really be looking at that. Are you balding or anything, Alex? Anything like that. You want to look at things like that to see how acidosis is doing. Also, I would take a picture of my eye and look at the eye that you have the lazy eye and look up at the eye area and see what you see. See if you see a nerve ring. See if you have nerve rings in your eyes. That would be the adrenals and the autonomic. So by inspiring neurotransmitter production, you're going to inspire a myelin sheath integrity and better traveling of electricity. So that's how I would go after this. And I would say this, that I definitely would send myself through a round of pituitary and connective tissue parathyroid. I would, just to bring strength into connective tissue. I'd strengthen my nervous system. That's what brain and nerve does. It strengthens neurons, cells. So that, I would do those things. And that should take care of it quite aptly. But get those sinuses drained, get everybody moving. Let's see, this is from CEDRIC. Hi, thank you for all what you are doing. I myself, 95% frugivore. Ooh. I can see the benefits of it. Many times I went back because of the emotional addiction and doubts. That's true. Once your mind gets glued with gluten, that's a pretty way of looking at it. Once your mind gets glued with gluten, you're pretty much stuck. That's why you got to get out of your mind. People probably think we're a bunch of crazy people, but we like to get out of our minds, don't we? Yeah, we like to tell people, get out of your mind. But not to go crazy, but to become awake. Oh, good guy here, or gal. I've even experienced a breatharian state. Ooh. Well, so I understand what you say, but I have a big question. How come the Japanese are so healthy? I'd beg to differ. I would beg to differ to that. I have a lot of Japanese friends, clients, and but beg to differ. Longer lived? Absolutely. Longer than most. Islanders are the tops. Do your own China study. The islanders are the most longevity and the healthiest. Yeah, come in. Okay, come on in. Is that one I can answer in front of YouTube? All right, so see that little red button? It's right around. It's a little red button. Just push her in. I'll be right back. Thank you. Is that turned red? Yep. Thanks, sweetheart. Tough case, but you can knock them out of the park. That was a tough case. That was a tough case. That lady's in trouble. Big time trouble. She's been diagnosed with cancer all through her. But her sons, I think, are working on her, and her tumors are way down, and she could win the day. She could win the day. That's exciting. Get this lady's life back. She's definitely Muslim. She looks like she's from the Middle East somewhere. But again, participate in your own healing and wellness. And if you do everything right, 99% of everyone will win the day. But if it's your time to go, get excited about it, because it's going to be a fun journey. Now, people have a wrong thinking about leaving this planet. It's coming to the planet that's scary, because you're so limited. When you leave the limited body of the physical, you are almost nirvanic from leaving the limited. But I'll say that. Or maybe we frugivore will live 300 years. Well, what about the Chinese guy that lived 256 years old? He claimed that if you eat above the ground, you'll live long, and you use the ginsengs. But it's enough to say that a lot goes into longevity. Not only because you've got souls coming in here just to touch base and leave. So I think longevity is a culmination of a lot of things. Attitude, how you conduct your body, obviously the type of food you eat, how acidic you let yourself, just all kinds of things, your emotional states. Physical work. I've been a carpenter, I've remodeled houses, and sometimes when you're doing all the work yourself, it can beat the body up a little bit. So, it's all how we take care of ourselves, that sort of thing. The type of diet that you have. If you have a high protein diet, you're not going to have longevity. The Japanese didn't have a high protein diet. However, you could take, but everyone has their problems, and the Japanese have their problems as well. So does the Chinese. Even in the China study, shows better than average, but islanders always outdo both of those. But I'll say this, we can take those people and get them even better. You take the Japanese who do well, you could get them way up there. But there's a lot of trouble in the Japanese people, from the bowels to the kidneys, a lot of troubles. Thanks for letting me know your answer. Did not find topic about that in your YouTube channel. No, but breatharian would be cool. Although I guess we're here to have the sensory organs pleased. But the thing is, have you ever had navel oranges this big, organic? The juice is orange, and I mean orange, and sweet as honey. I mean, there's flavors of fruits and berries. Where do you match them? There's a lot of good spices out there, but your islanders always, like I said, live longer. And whenever you saw your higher protein eaters, like your Alaskans, they only live to be 40-some years old. So it's a good look. The China study was a good look, and you can see with the Japanese it's a good look. But we're here to take these people even higher. Absolutely. Even higher. I'm going to do one more. But these are all real long. Oh, look at this one. Oh my God. Well, here's the same thing right here. All right, this is from Stephen. Stephen Eagles. Stephen soars like an eagle. Hello there, Stephen. My grandfather's 87 years young. I like that. And in the last 10 years has suffered from diabetes, heart attack, stroke, and just recently we almost lost him as he collapsed and ended up with pneumonia. My question is, I want to help extend his time here with detoxification, but it feels risky given his age and state of health. Nah. I don't think my family would forgive me if something went wrong. Nah. This old man is probably stronger than you are genetically. What would you advise? Please. Thank you so much. Oh, Stephen. Oh, yeah. He's probably stronger than you genetically. Don't think that old man ain't strong. He's 87 years young. Listen, we've got babies on these herbs and stuff, so an 87-year-old can handle it quite well. Matter of fact, you might be surprised how well your grandfather responds to this. Either way, okay, when you have a heart attack or a stroke, that is when blood is definitely not getting to tissue, correct? Correct. Now, what causes those two events? All right, so let's look at those. Occluded arteries could, right? Occluded means blocked, right? All right. Now, we do have atherosclerosis, and, we have all of these things where you have either hardening of the arteries from calcifications, or you have lipid plaquing, one of the two. Both of those are your immune responses, mechanisms. They're buffering systems. Protect both of them. The lymphatic system is a cholesterol-based system. And of course, calcium buffering system is well established, whether medical doctors like to understand that or not. And that comes from well-respected universities, not from medical minds, from medical universities. Good research stuff. So, when you're older, there are some things you want to go after no matter what, right? We just had a little old lady pass here. I think she was almost 90. She'd been driving herself to our clinic here every day or every other day for herbs. We've been working with her blood pressures and her diabetes and things like that. And she's been taking care of herself mainly on fruit, but mess up a little. She's kept herself alive since she was 70-something. She was almost dead when she came in here. And we kept her alive all these years. She finally left. That's pretty good. 90 years, And that's not being super aggressive. But I'll say this, upper circulation and brain and nerve are two formulas that are essential. Anytime you have a stroke or heart attack, you want to get your blood system dilated and blood moving more aggressively. So the cayenne garlic formula is an excellent choice for that and for high blood pressures. It dilates the vascular system and makes things work well. I don't use inorganic cayenne, that's too hot. I use organic cayenne, which is only about 25,000 units. Better. You don't overstimulate the mucosa. Schultz is not correct in wanting to go hot, habanero hot, ghost pepper hot. No. You'll eventually harden the mucosa and have a less immune response than you want. You want immune responses. I would also have lower circ. I'd have upper circ, lower circ, and brain and nerve. Those are three that I'd have your grandfather on for quite some time. Watch him pick up and get snappy with those three. Now, what kills us all and what led to this is what? The lymphatic system in him, and you're going right back to where? Which is the heart of why everybody passes here, and it's called kidney failure. I'd go after his kidneys like crazy and his adrenal glands. Remember, he's just had more time on the planet to become more acidic. And that's what you're after. Knowing that the lymph system is why he had a blood system problem. It wasn't a blood system problem. It was a lymphatic problem causing a blood system problem. So you have to go after his lymphatic system. Go after his bowels. Go after his liver. Clean it up. Get him on those kits. Clean him up. And your grandfather will go, yeah, baby. You might just give him a new lease on life like nobody's business and push him well above 100. If you get rid of the obstructions of the flow of energy in the body, blood, nerve, and lymph, there's not too much that can kill you. Be honest with you, acidosis is what kills us, and the failure of the kidneys. So you correct all of that, and your grandpapa should go right on up there, Stephen, and do not be afraid to go after that old man. He's stronger than you realize. Can we do one more? Uh-oh. Okay, this one, I got to do this one. See, there's so you all have great questions and stuff. Here's one, thyroid removed. Here's one, she's only 24 years old, dealing with extreme acne, rosacea, seborrheic. We'll go after this. I'll come after this tomorrow. I'll come in here, I promise, and I'll come after that. Okay. All right. Here's a 23-year-old. Here's a 24-year-old. Wow, you poor guys and gals. I tell you what, I feel for you. Here's 32, 30, 20-some, 20-some children. Makes you sick. How sick we are as a race. Hi there, my name is Jessie, and I'm a 23-year-old female trying to heal from my neurological symptoms and degradation. My neural symptoms started about 4 years ago. Now, she's 23. So what gland do you know she has down? Adrenals. And that means she has the kidneys down. So that means she has the lymphatic system down. And it's the same with Marola. 24-year-old dealing with acne, rosacea, seborrheic dermatitis on my face, and a little bit of fasciitis on my scalp. Oh no, she had taken Accutane 2 times. No, it's another one. And every one of them we could do like this and go, oh, lymphatic, a broken record. But what, besides the steroids, what all did your adrenal glands produce? Neurotransmitters for what system? The autonomic. That's where most of the degradation happens. Up in stairs can happen there too. My neural symptoms started about 4 years ago, and I have been trying to recover from them. However, as each year passes, my condition gets worse. Yeah, if you don't remove the acidosis in the human body, there's no repairing anything, hardly. I am dealing with extreme brain fog, unable to process or think. Memory loss, numbness, shakiness. Oh, I don't like any of this. That's not good for 24 years, 23 years old, honey. That's not good. All right. I got to fix this young lady. Look at this. Memory loss, numbness, shakiness, visual snow. My eyesight is full of thousands of floaters. Oh, my God. Kidney heaviness and pain, fatigue, random depression, etc. Wow, 23 years young. Oh my God. It has gotten to the point of me not being able to function on a regular basis, mostly because of my brain function. All right, honey, now listen. I'm dead serious about this. Fruits, berries, and melons only. Get yourself up there. However you do it, you get yourself up there. Fruits, berries, and melons only, okay? Upper circuit, brain, and nerve, a huge must, all right? Candle my ears, all right? Get your ears candled, 3 or 4 candles per ear. At the same time, work the neural lymphatics down the back. At the same time, you couldn't neti-pot your sinuses, but work those neural lymphatics down the spine. Get your bowels worked on. Start working with the stomach and bowel and the GI broom. Get your kidneys and adrenals up and functioning. Vital to get those adrenals up. I think you're going to find some low blood pressure. And if it's high, it's low. So you got to work on those. Very, very important. Upper circuit, brain and upper circulation, brain and nerve, mandatory. Mandatory. And get that lymph moving up here. Essential. And I might want to do a dropper and a half or 2 dropperfuls of both of those just for a month to inspire quicker results. I would also go after the fungus in my body, parasite M, for a couple of months. The shakiness and the numbness, use You use antispasmodic. It's called Spasm Calm. Hitchhike that with brain and nerve. Hitchhike that with upper circ. That's on top of going after your kidneys, your adrenals, your GI tract, your rest of your endocrine glands, because you mentioned kidney heaviness. I bet. Get a picture of your eyes, honey. See what you were given genetically. Get a picture of your eyes. And of course, random depression. So you didn't give me your height or anything, or you're short, go to that pituitary gland. Random depression, we're talking about parathyroid. Again, good advice. Wait to have children. Fix yourself first, because you have some endos that are down and you don't anything. Now, eye wash. Get an eye cup, 12 drops. 1, 2, 3, 4, up. 12 drops. And wash those eyes out morning and night. You're going to get a lot of mucus and matting in your eyes. That's okay. Wash it out. And keep going morning and night. Wash your eyes. It wouldn't hurt to take internally. See where we're going with this? We're moving blood aggressively upstairs. We're bringing oxygenated blood and goodies up there, turning on the cells. We're giving herbs specifically to turn on the neurons. We're moving the acids out that's breaking them down. We're going after you. That's how you go after someone and get them well. You go after the adrenals, you go after the endocrine glands, you go after the kidneys, which indirectly or directly, however you wish to look at that, is affecting her brain, even though there's such a distance between them. How? Lymphatics. Big time. Also, keep the spine straight. Make sure your spine is straight. Just in case the lady was right with the lymphatic system. I was diagnosed with Lyme the first year of my neural symptoms and put on antibiotics. Here we go. Here we go. Antibiotics for Lyme's. Oh my God! Just killed your lymph nodes bacteria. Well, here's the thing. It's just systemic acidosis, and I've said this many, many times. Lyme, lupus, fibromyalgia, lump them together. They're all the same. All the arthritis is all chronic lymph stagnation. What color are your eyes anyway? That didn't help. Of course, it doesn't help. Never does help. It never helps. But they do it because Lyme's isn't a bacterial problem. Oh. What was it? Inside Edition, or one of them, showed the recluse spider bite and how the AMA addresses recluse spider bites. He almost lost his hand. That wouldn't have happened had they come here, because we don't go after hemo and neurotoxins with antibiotics. Stupid. You're going them after with what formulas? What formulas in herbology? What herbs are for toxins and poisons and snake bites and spider bites? The lymphatic formulas, of course. Absolutely. That didn't help, so thereafter I tried just about every natural herbal protocol I could find. Nothing has helped, because you haven't got your lymphatic system addressed. You have to address that system. That is diet and herbs, but herbs used appropriately for the right system to get this system open, because there's no other system you have to address, dear. That's it. You got to address acidosis. The past 10 months I have been in a big and high fruit diet, smart lady. However, the fruit makes my neurological symptoms almost unbearable, unfortunately. Then I got a feeling you got massive fungal problems. So cut down on the fruit a little bit. Go to the green drinks. Still go after the herbs, upper circ, brain and nerve, all of that I said. Take Parasite M, 2-dropper fulls, and go after your worms. First kit, and keep on Parasite M. I flare up and cannot function. Also, my mind seems to spiral, and my thinking starts getting all crazy. You could have heavy fungal problems, honey, so go after that as well. Is this normal? No. I really want to do a full fruit. Well, wait. Work on it the best you can. Keep all raw. But green drink, parsley, dandelion green, beet, and if you have one, a little cucumber. Go after that. That's aggressive. Go after that kidney, adrenal, liver. That's beet, dandelion green, and parsley. Juice it and make yourself a strong green drink. If you want to throw a little cuke and a little celery for taste, okay. But you go after those. Those will help you immensely. I know you need some help with this. Very important you need some help with this. This isn't a little cold and flu-like symptom. This is serious stuff. At 23 years old, I would say this. Send me a picture of your eyes. Make note that I requested that, and you're the 23-year-old girl with neurological symptoms, okay? Let's take a look at your eyes. You know, if you want, I don't know how easy it is for them to take off the eyes, but I can tell her I won't read them too much for you because it takes up too much time, but I will look at them and glance at them. We can talk about them a little bit. I just need some help with this. I am so thankful for your bit. Oh, thank you, honey, but you dig in. I don't care. You dig in. You work yourself around this fruit thing, but I think you get the fungus down, you'll be able to tolerate the fruit. But that's, when you can't have fruit and you get more brain fog, highly suggestive of massive fungal problems. This also could be that you have a lot of sulfur in the gut. I really am now want to look at your eyes. You got me. You got my attention up here. I want to look at your eyes. Need her eyes. Now, listen, we're going to help you all, and we're going to get you all straightened around and you all fixed up. If you're suffering right now, like I said, you never want to wait till I answer these. It could be a month. You want to really tear it up. You really want to go in here and get on a raw diet. If you can't handle the fruit all the way, handle what fruit you can, and then do your green drinks. That's the next best thing. If you get into too many salads, it'll slow up everything because of the digestion, the digestive need of salads and stuff. But you tear after these things, and your success will be there. You know, some of you have bodies you have to work a little harder with, no question about it. It's just genetics. But don't let anything stop you. Just because you have some ups and downs, you let that stop you? I don't. I get life has ups and downs to it, but I don't let that stop me at all. Hell no. This is your world, and you make it the way you want it. Don't make it the way others want it. You make it the way you want it. If you need information, you ask the all. It'll bring us. You just have to ask. And you know who to ask. Go within. Okay? Help is always there when you need it. But you have to be awake to recognize it sometimes. Love you guys. Pleasure. I plan to be here all week and record all week, so hope they're not too much and too long, but I've got to get caught up. Love you guys. Thanks.